Hey, girl, hey. Welcome back to my weekly podcast, Taste of Taylor. I'm Taylor Obs Kebabs. Okay, joining me today is Whitney Port. Hey, girl, hey. I'm so excited.
Me too.
Okay, so I've been wanting to do this for so long. So first of all, I've known you forever.
Forever.
No. I've known you forever in a one-sided way.
I was like, you're making this sound weird. Like, should I know more of when we met?
No, I just watched you on TV.
Yeah. You've known me since I was like 20.
Literally.
And now I'm 40 next year.
Girl, I'm 41.
So you've known me for 20 years.
It's crazy. The way a bitch watches Laguna Beach like on Netflix.
Yeah.
And The Judgment. And I'm like, wait a second. I'm an adult. Kristen Cavallari is an adult with children.
I know.
And it's so psycho and creepy the way that we watched the shows when they were on TV, but now with streaming, it brings a whole new level of creepdom to everything.
Like obsessiveness. Why do you think the streaming makes it creepier?
Because I know that we're not in real time anymore, but I'm watching it
and still obsessing about it, and that makes you feel ashamed.
Deeply
You're feeling very shameful.
These are children. Laguna Beach is teenagers.
I actually totally understand that. But it's so fun to look back at that. I mean, that's what we did in COVID. We were like, Timmy and I were like, what do we do with our lives?
Yes.
And so we started rewatching
The
Hills.
No,
and
I did.
Yeah. So we did. So we first rewatched like The Hills New Beginnings, which was like a new, you know
dark.
What it is. Yeah, really dark. I'm like, did we discuss this? Because
no, but
it's
we're
like I
going
can
to.
hardly even talk about it.
Oh, I'm going to make you.
So we did that. And then we were filming in real time while putting out these reaction videos. And I was getting such pushback from the cast that I was like, I can't do this. This is stressing me out too much. So then during COVID, we were like, what WTF do we do? So we started watching like Old Hills, Laguna Beach, The City. We did Siesta Key. I don't know if you were into that.
No.
Not that I was on that, but like.
Did you do Newport Beach? Like when Laguna Beach
we didn't do Newport Harbor. We didn't
that's
do
what it was called.
Newport Harbor.
You know what?
We should.
Don't do it, but like do it.
I know.
And they have it on Amazon and you have to buy it.
Oh no, stop.
And I bought it.
Of course you did. For like $24.99.
It was so expensive. Did you watch yourself when you were on The Hills, The City, like in real time?
Yes.
Do you have to? Is that why?
No, you totally don't have to, but
LOL.
they would drop. I know. I was surprised Ariana didn't watch this whole season. Do you watch Vanderpump Rules? Obviously. Well, you just had Schwartz on.
Yes. And also, who said this? Oh, I just had Sierra Miller on from Summer House.
Oh, I love her.
Died for her. She's everything. And she said that she doesn't watch a show either, except when her manager like makes her watch a scene, but she doesn't. So this is something that's kind of like, I don't think it's the norm, but I think it's common enough that people don't go back and watch.
I think definitely most people watch, but at the time we were handed the episodes like the morning before it aired.
Okay.
So it was already too late to have a say. Like it's not like we had a say or whatever, but but the producers definitely didn't want to hear from us on Monday during the day, like before the episode aired. But like I would watch it with my family or my friends or whoever I was with on Monday. And then we would like watch it again live later. And then that was it. I never watched it again until the rewatch.
Yes.
So it was like watching my life back. Like,
how was it?
Crazy.
Was it exciting? Was it like nostalgic?
So it was so exciting and so nostalgic. And it made me feel like I just like so grateful, honestly. There's a lot of it that I didn't like. Like there was a lot of, there's moments of manipulation and like feeling like you're misunderstood and not having control. And there's certain things obviously that have stuck with me that we can get into. But
I want to.
For the most part, it was like, I had so many opportunities and did such cool things. Like even when I watched The City, I'm like, oh my God, you moved to New York City. You had this hot Australian musician boyfriend who, by the way, was like, whatever, but he was great for the time. And then you get a job.
We're talking more about Jay, but continue.
Yeah, okay, fine. You get a job at like Diane von Furstenberg. You're like working backstage at New York Fashion Week. You get to then develop your own clothing line in the city and like it was everything that I did. Like looking back on, I was like, oh my God, this is so cool that I was able to do this.
That is such a good perspective because I feel like, and also I feel like you guys were in kind of like the early years / the heyday of reality television.
Yes.
And I know because I'm very close with Kelly Cutrone, so I know what you guys are making.
Yeah.
And it was fucking insane.
It was
like,
insane.
So when I say heyday, it was like the financial heyday of reality television.
It was right before, that in 2008, when like the economy crashed was when The City got canceled.
Oh, fuck.
Yes, because it was a whole like cultural mind shift. People didn't really want to watch like affluent people, that kind of lifestyle anymore. So then came on like Jersey Shore and this type of reality TV.
Did they ever appeal to the people with that show?
With that, which then like I feel like launched this whole new category of reality TV that was so focused on just like tearing people apart.
Disaster.
Which was a part of our show in a small way. Obviously, like there was people pulling at Lauren.
Yes.
There were supposedly people, trying to tear me down at work, but I felt like we always knew there was still this main character in a movie storyline in the background where you knew our producer was always kind of like wanting us to land on top. Like Lauren and I were lucky in that way.
Yes.
Not everybody else had that same edit or that same storyline.
Heidi and Spencer definitely didn't. But like, was that because of their own doing as well?
Because they were down. Because they were down to play that part, and they played like a version of that, I think, in real life, and it was just easy for them to play that up.
I actually heard them on Call Her Daddy separately years ago talking about everything. And Spencer kind of said that like when it first started, he was like so down to play the character of the villain.
Yeah.
And like he really thought it would be tongue in cheek and everybody would like get it. That it was just like kind of not acting, but like playing a heightened version of yourself.
I know. Yeah.
And he said he realized shortly thereafter the first season came out that people did not get it. But then it was almost like there was no getting out of it. And so he kind of just like leaned in, and the money was so insane.
It was so insane. And it kept on getting more and more.
Yep.
The better the show did and the crazier they got.
But they paid the price in terms of like image for sure.
They definitely did.
And I remember them also too kind of saying, and they kind of blamed it a little bit on Adam DeVillo. And I don't want to put you in a weird spot.
No,
totally
fine. Totally fine.
But like, and the thing is that Adam is now, he does Selling Sunset, which is a fucking great show.
Yes.
And Christine Quinn has also come out complaining about him. So it makes me wonder like, how like these showrunners and these producers and these editors, and I'm not that editors are interacting with like, the cast, but like all of like the behind the scenes, like how much does that impact your experience on a show? Like, can it make or break you? And are they to blame kind of?
Yeah. I mean, so it's really hard because I completely understand how things can be edited and things can get taken out of context, but I will say that you have to sort of be playing along a little bit.
Yes.
Like I just knew how certain things could be spun. And so I just never put myself out there in that way.
When you say playing along, do you mean like playing well with producers and like not being difficult and being nice?
No.
Okay.
I mean, it's so nuanced. Like I felt like I had to protect myself in so many ways because I didn't know what the producers were going to do with it.
Correct.
But when you sign up to do a reality show nowadays, I think that you need to expect that like you're putting your life in the hands of these people to edit it, and like you need to know that like they're gonna.
All bets are off.
Yeah, kind of all bets are off.
Expect a bad edit.
That's what I think. Like, expect a bad edit. And I feel like for me, it was, like I said, I think we were living in a different time of reality TV. I think if I were on a reality TV now, I'd probably get in a shit ton of trouble. I'm sure I would say, like, you know what I mean? Like, I know that I would because it's so much, they need to have it be so much more like juicy and salacious.
So it's definitely changed in terms of,
I just think in terms of the context.
Yes.
Yeah. Like it's gotten a little bit more R-rated.
Totally. Yes, it's a perfect analogy.
Yeah,
that's what
they're like really trying to like break up marriages
and ruin lives. And probably at the time that you guys were doing it, because I know Lauren has certain feelings about like having done the show.
Yeah.
She's definitely traumatized by it, but it's like comparing it to now, I think it was like you said, like it was like, I don't know, middle school, child's play kind of a thing. But in your 20-year-old life, it did feel detrimental and traumatic, right?
Definitely, for sure.
But you're saying despite that.
I think that it can, like for them, it really affected them a lot, right? Like I have a different experience.
Yes.
Like I really do have a different experience. I was able, I had, my producers were my best friends. Like I had conversations with them before scenes where they would want me to say certain things and do certain things that I didn't want to say, but I would always compromise with what I felt comfortable doing.
Okay.
And then I felt like then the rest was, that was what was in my control and the rest was out of my control. And that's what I signed up to do. And I was making a lot of money for it. So like, I kind of get annoyed by all the complaining afterwards.
Yeah, because
like,
it's like
I just do, because I just feel like going into it what you're going to get afterwards. Like like Spencer and Heidi,
and even
they
back
knew.
Then, you're saying yes. Like, even back then, we knew.
You know. I don't know the Christine thing, like what she was complaining about. Yeah, what was she complaining about to Adam?
Christine,
about Adam?
Listen, I don't know if she's really a reliable source. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like at the end of the day, that's the thing too. Is that like. There's also a certain personality type that's drawn to doing reality television. Not everybody, but like I think that like sociopaths.
Sort of. Yeah. So. Like I get sometimes like cringe embarrassed that I'm like I have imposter syndrome too, where I'm like, I believed that I was this like reality TV person for so long that I like sometimes don't think of myself as a legitimate person.
That's so cool. Well, first of all, reality TV people are people too.
Thank you.
And also some of my best friends are on reality TV shows that are turned. So like, yes, like wonderful people also do reality television.
Thank you. I need that validation from you.
So it's like two things can be true, right?
Yes.
Great, talented, interesting, like vibrant people are attractive to reality television.
And also untrustworthy,
people
like,
with
volatile,
social disorders.
Insane,
correct.
Psychopaths.
Yes. Murderers.
Yes.
It's like if they weren't doing this, they would be murdering.
I know. I have mixed feelings. You know, I've been in the position where I felt like, oh my God, the manipulation, like that I show up to a scene and the producers like already have an idea in their head of how they want a conversation to go. And you're like, but I would never say that. You know, I would never react this way.
Right.
And then it's like, well, then they start talking about, well, you know, how do you want the scene to go? You know,
can you give me specifics?
And you're like, I know something from, what about The City? There was,
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So there's like a scene where I'm supposed to like go confront Olivia. We're going to Fig and Olive in Meatpacking District. And I'm supposed to confront her because she takes credit for styling the cover look. Okay.
And you did it.
And
it was like this cute, like short piece and you wanted to match it.
It was like the sequin short suit.
Floral.
Yeah. Oh no. Yeah. The sequin floral short suit.
I told you I know.
Yes, you know everything.
I even know more than you know.
So you seriously, oh my God. So I didn't even really want to confront her, honestly. I was
but that
like,
really did happen.
Yeah. So,
okay,
it wasn't even, it was more like it was a suggestion that I had made to the stylist. It wasn't like I chose that look, but it was something that I remember fighting for to the stylist.
No, Olivia, I remember. Olivia was like, no, ew, matching, gross. We can use these pieces, but separately. And you're like, no, that's like the purpose. That's the intent.
It's a suit.
And you push for it. And the most egregious thing was that it's not even just that it was like your idea. Olivia fought you on it.
Yeah.
And then when it ended up being yours and it worked, she took credit for it.
Yeah.
I was pissed. I'm still pissed.
It was definitely, yeah. So it wasn't as exaggerated. I felt like it wasn't like I chose the suit. It was like a stylist had chosen the suit, but I definitely had made an opinion that I loved it and she didn't like it.
Yeah.
And so whatever, the producers wanted me to get upset about it. Where in real life, like in a work situation like that, like
whatever.
Honestly, whatever. Maybe I would have said something to her on the side, but it wouldn't have been like a big thing where I confronted her at like a restaurant and anyways, so they wanted me to like be fired up and like get upset at her.
They should have brought me in to talk to you. I would have gotten you pissed because I was pissed.
You were pissed. And it was really hard for me. I think almost that's why the show only lasted like a season and a half, because it was really hard for me to like.
It's not your nature.
Get upset about that stuff. Yeah.
There is this, I don't know, like conspiracy theory that everything's scripted, and it's like, it's not scripted. So you having been on the hills, on the city, live this life, and also a fan of reality television.
Yes.
You can say, so
it's not scripted. It's that, I mean, it totally depends what show, but most reality TV, I feel like that we're watching right now, it's not scripted, but when they're filming, they're not filming 24/7.
Correct.
So in order to get certain beats that they need to get in order to complete the storyline,
yes,
they have to schedule to film with you. And when they schedule to film with you,
right,
they have to schedule where it's going to be, who's going to be there, and how they're going to get you to talk about what you need to talk about in the span of an hour or an hour and a half, or depending on the length you have to film the scene.
Okay.
So it always feels unnatural because it is.
Well, like even when you see like couples on The Real Housewives and they're like talking about like, oh, so last night at dinner, it's like, wait, you didn't come home from dinner and talk to your husband?
No, exactly.
But also, are they not? Are they like,
wait, like I have to wait till tomorrow to tell you.
Kind of, but like sometimes even with my co-host, I'll be like, don't catch up with me now. Wait till we hit the air because I want it to be the first time I hear it.
Yeah.
So is there a world in which they're just practicing good
I mean, maybe, unless if
habits?
it's something so crazy, I feel like, oh my God, how are you not talking about that? But I feel like most of the time the problem is that they're having to have these conversations for a second time.
Okay.
It's like they're not able to get always the natural reactions.
So what percentage of the show would you say was like real? The Hills specifically.
Like 50-50.
Okay. No. That works for me.
I felt like a lot of the main storylines, like the A storylines, were real. They were based off real things.
Like Heidi and Lauren were fighting.
We're really fighting.
Okay.
The video thing really happened. Like, I don't know. That whole thing really happened.
Can
and
I
it wouldn't be in the same place.
Fucked up question. You don't have to answer.
If I know if it exists. Or what?
Yeah, was the sex tape real?
I still don't even know.
In my mind, it definitely was.
I mean, to get so upset about it, but I have no
hit dogs holler.
I have
you know
no
what I
clue.
mean?
Yeah,
okay.
But I have no idea.
I believe you.
And that all those big stories were true, except for towards the end when like Heidi and Spencer, like certain fights between them were definitely.
Like they said, like there was a fight in the car outside of like where she worked.
Yeah.
And then like they went out and got dinner after, which I also totally believe that they were telling the truth, but it can't be every fucking time.
No.
Okay. So in the history of me like loving film and television, there's 3 times I wanted to smash my television. The first was Vanilla Sky, because I still to this day don't fucking know what it's about. The second was The Sopranos. I was like, our cable's out. You didn't pay the bill. And then I was like, that's the fucking worst ending ever.
I've seen Vanilla Sky, but not Sopranos.
Oh, it just, spoiler alert, it just goes black. You get no answers.
No answers.
It looks like everyone thought their TV's broke. Fucking bullshit. And third, honestly, maybe it's even top 1. When I'm literally breaking out in hives.
Oh.
When The Hills ended and it zoomed out on a soundstage, I said, fuck off.
Yeah.
I said, how dare you do this to my heart and soul? So like, and everybody will refer to it like, so obviously it was scripted. People saw Kristen Cavallari on the beach in Malibu with the script from the show.
Yeah.
Did you receive scripts for the show?
We never received scripts for the show, but we were basically just like we were playing ourselves.
Okay.
Based off of the stories that had happened or things that were happening in our lives, but they were just like produced.
Got it.
Do you get what I mean? Like I really wanted to work in fashion, wanted an internship in fashion, but it was because of MTV that I was able to get a job at Teen Vogue.
Yes.
And then certain photo shoots happened or certain storylines happened where Lauren had to fly to New York to give Anna Wintour a dress overnight or something.
That was sad. I felt bad.
Yeah. And then we're like, what about FedEx overnight? And then it did not exist at that time. And like certain things like that, those were created by producers.
Manufactured by
producers.
But Lauren wasn't like landing in New York and like memorizing her lines.
No, we weren't.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
Like we thought Lauren was like, she was given a task by Lisa Love and she took it pretty serious. We took each task pretty seriously.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because there were going to be real consequences at the end on camera. Like there was going to be someone reviewing our work. So even if the job wasn't necessarily like I wasn't going in there every day or
right.
You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
It's so hard to explain.
No. You're making complete sense. Well, I just saw that Lo Bosworth was on like a Page 6 show or whatever. It was a clip. And she was saying that basically the fighting between her and Audrina was like completely manufactured.
Yeah.
So, which I was like, that's good for Lo because Lo, you looked like a bitch.
Yeah.
But I was like, damn, that's kind of crazy that like it was to that level.
I know. We got like pretty good at
playing pretend.
Yeah. Towards the end.
Well,
but it didn't start out like that. And that's what I think. That's why I think people were like, oh my God, because I think that in the beginning it was based on reality and more truth.
Right.
And then I think towards the end, it just gets hard as you're seeing with Vanderpump, unless things are continually happening, like scandals, like it's hard to continually get drama with a group of people.
Which is why they're taking a break right now.
Yeah.
To kind of like get, like just to kind of control, alt-delete the situation.
Yeah. And like everyone get a handle on what they really want their real lives to look like without like all these producers weighing in.
Heidi and Spencer, I actually feel like they're a great couple and they're in love.
Yeah, I think so too.
Are they evil pieces of shit?
No.
Right.
They're not.
Right.
They're
they
not.
were made out to look so bad.
I think they made some immature choices and they did some stuff for money.
Right.
But they're not bad people.
Was all the shit with her mom legit? Like that broke my heart when she went home after the plastic surgery. Obviously the plastic surgery is real because it's real.
I know.
That was so fucked up.
Yeah.
Like I'll never forgive Heidi's mom for that.
I don't know for sure, but I'm pretty sure
That's gotta be real. That's gotta be.
I know it was really hard for her mom. Yeah.
Justin, Bobby, and Audrina. Was that real?
That the beginning was very real.
Okay.
I think then it went on for way too long and it wasn't real. And then they tried to make it happen again in The Hills New Beginnings and that wasn't real.
Yep.
But yeah, it was very on and off. Audrina and Justin.
Wait, I also heard you on Amanda Hirsch's podcast.
Yes.
Amanda, thanks for asking all the questions. It's okay though. We're having a different conversation. I'm very proud of us. I know. But I will say, you shooketh me to my core when you said that Justin Bobby was like your type back then.
I mean,
I'm dead.
I'm dead. For me, like his personality, it came across totally different than I felt like he was in real life. And that was something that was a little frustrating about the show
He was like the ultimate fuckboy on the show.
Yes, for sure. And I think also we were very young at that time. So he, and I didn't really know that side of him, but he was just like so warm and friendly. And I always just got like a good vibe from him. He made me feel comfortable. He wasn't like out to hurt anybody, honestly. Like I think that he was just like a typical, and I hate to say typical, but like typical 22-year-old, like super hot guy in LA.
Right.
And he took advantage of his situation. But I think he's like a really great guy.
I mean, he's so hot. But the burping on the date.
That was him. No. I think he probably thought like they'll never use that.
Literally.
Or like if they use that, it'll be funny or like, I don't know. Who knows?
Lauren, now that I go back and watch it as an adult, and again, Lauren is my age now, and I am watching a 20-year-old and judging as an adult, which is my issue. But like she seems like she wants she seemed like she wanted blind loyalty and friendship. Was that accurate?
I feel like, it feels like it was the start of that thing that we see on reality TV now, where everybody expects people to take sides and like stick with that. And I feel like it was a little bit of that. But
did you feel like you were put in a weird position?
No, because I decided, honestly, I had a very separate life.
I know.
Yeah, I decided not to really get involved very much.
How are you able to get away with that?
Because the producers had so much going on with everybody else. Like they weren't interested in my life in that way.
It's kind of, you had like the dream scenario.
That's why I feel like I have such fond memories and I'm so grateful for it because I was able to set boundaries. Like I had a boyfriend in college that nobody knew about that I was dating for like 3 years.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, so wait, that date with the trainer wasn't real?
Yeah. I was never into the trainer.
Honestly, good. I was like, wellness check on Whitney.
Right? I was like,
seriously,
guys, can we not can we match make with I don't know. This guy?
Oh my God, it's so funny.
I know. I saw him in a car in LA driving once and I was like, oh my God.
No,
Jared, his name.
Jared. No, yes. You looked really, really, really good. And I mean, from start to finish in The Hills. And I feel like it looked really good in The City too.
Yeah, The City was fine.
I think also though you have to give credit where credit's due because The City was your show, your spinoff.
Yeah.
Like obviously, like I think you're like, oh, I was on the hills and like they didn't really care because I wasn't bringing drama and I was kind of like whatever. But like they cared enough to give you fucking spin off.
Then when they did the city, it was totally different. And
Were you
when
freaking?
like when Adam came to me and was like, do you want to do this? I wasn't immediately like, oh my God, yes.
Right.
Like I was like, I don't think so. You know, I've been able to keep so much private. Like they had asked to film with my 2 younger sisters.
I'm dead.
They had asked to film with Paige and Jade. They had filmed like a little bit with my family, but it was all really sweet
I remember
stuff.
your parents sending you off to
it was
New
really
York.
cute stuff.
Yes.
Like my family is also just the sweetest. It was like just no way you could make them look bad.
Right.
They would never get cast on like a reality show these days.
Right.
Like nor would I probably.
Right.
But then Adam took my parents and I to dinner and we like talked it all out and I made a list of pros and cons and I really decided because I wanted my clothing line that like this would be the smartest business decision for me.
I get it.
And when we were filming for The Hills, we were filming in New York and I had met Jay when we were filming in New York.
Love made you say yes to a reality show.
So then when The Hills cameras caught me liking this dude in New York, they were like, oh my God, here's our idea for a next show. Like Whitney moves to New York and starts to date this Australian guy. And they had already like been able to shoot a pilot because of all the Hills footage that they got of us and our trips to New York and stuff.
So I know you said this on Amanda's podcast, but I just need you to say it again.
Yes.
So what Jay gave you dated for a while, but then he gave you the ickiest of the icks.
Yeah. So like I feel so bad. I like Jay was such a great like boyfriend for a reality TV show because he was like so cute and he was so fun.
Yes.
But yeah, it was like he sort of had a little bit of an addictive personality. And so he would just like eat so fast, like scarf things down and then have to like immediately get up from the table. And it just started to really ick me. And
like he had to get up from the table to like poop?
No, just to like it was like so, I don't even know. It's like such a weird ick for me. But yeah, it started for some reason I feel like also because I felt like he wanted to be on the show.
That's kind of an ick.
That's really what was like, like I don't really want to date anybody that wants to be on the show.
Also, I've learned you kind of like fell into the show. So you didn't even want to be on the show.
No, I didn't like send in a casting tape to be on reality TV.
So to be with somebody who's like, I want to be on the show, you're like, well, I'm on it, but I didn't even have that kind of feeling.
Totally.
So
and it made it easy for me at the beginning because I was like, oh, I'm filming the show. It's going to be like, it makes it more interesting and he's cute and I like him. Like I really did, but
he was too eager beaver.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
So don't break my heart. Freddie Falkemeyer, was that real?
No, not really.
I mean, it's a mixed bag. I'm happy and I'm not happy.
I know.
You actually used to always be in my building, but it was that really nice apartment right on the West Side Highway. You know,
yes.
I just thought you lived in our building.
No. So I lived my first year in New York. I lived by Gramercy Park.
Yes,
by Gramercy Park, and then the second year I moved to West Village, and I lived right next to Magnolia Bakery.
Oh,
on like West 11th and Perry.
The best.
Wait,
was that the apartment with Roxy?
Yes.
LOL. I'm so sick in the head that I'm admitting this to you. I'm a creep.
You're not. Yeah. But no, Freddie for like a second. And then Freddie was at a phase of the show when I was really into Timmy, my now husband.
Who was your producer at the time?
Who was the producer. He was not like a talent producer, but he was a location producer.
Okay.
And he would like,
there's still some separation.
Still some separation. He was basically the one finding the places that we would film at.
Okay.
And he found my apartments and he was just like everything locations wise was Timmy. And we like loved each other. Like it was love at first sight, honestly.
Yes.
But we didn't get together or like nothing happened until the show was over. But I remember the Freddie phase. Like I was just so into Timmy that I couldn't even. I couldn't even. And I remember a Hamptons trip when they were really trying to make it happen.
I remember.
And I just remember.
Freddie's little brother came.
Yeah.
And really was fucking some
Harry?
shit up.
Harry was wasted, right?
Wasted. Okay.
I feel like I'm like, I just rewatched it and I need to rewatch it again.
So wait, so I would see you like in my building and I was like, oh, Whitney Port, I'm going to make her my friend because I'm a professional social climber. So like I get whatever I want. But I also play the long game. So then like it would have been awkward to run up to you. So I was like, whatever, one day the universe will bring us back together.
And now we're here.
So I saw you at the first Dear Media Austin IRL.
Yeah.
But it was like it was just like, you were so nice, by the way. You just came up to me. You were so sweet from out of nowhere. And it really like, it meant the world. So thank you.
Of course.
And then this one, we like had a chance to really start talking about like, we have a lot of overlapping people from when I was married to husband and from when you were like in the city, like the city's like cast like basically was like overlap with friend groups of husbands.
Of yours. Isn't that so crazy? So probably made it so much more fun for you to watch.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So Freddie got me in so much trouble. Okay. So I was working at Sirius.
Okay.
I have to be careful. So it was somebody who I was related to when I was married to husband, but he had like a lot of cousins. So I just want to be clear.
Okay.
There's a wide net of people this could have been.
Okay.
So I met Freddie probably like a year before he was on the city. And it was New Year's Eve in Miami. And Freddie, like, so I was with husband and it was like the day after New Year's Eve, New Year's Day. That's what it's called.
Yeah.
And this gorgeous guy comes over.
He's like a bronzed god. Like so bronzed. You're like, that cannot be real.
But he's got like swim trunks on and a tuxedo shirt open with like the tie around his neck. It was like a scene from a movie.
Yeah.
But he had a cast on and blood on the cuff of the other side of his shirt. So anyway, so it wasn't him talking. And I was like, who the fuck is that? And Wasden was like, oh, it's this guy, Freddie Fackelmeyer. He's friends with like blah, blah, blah. And he said, he's great, but he's like, well, party boy.
Yeah.
So that was it. Then he's on the city. So I'm on the show and I'm like,
oh my God.
I fucking know Freddie Fackelmeyer. So I was like, oh my God, he's the epitome of a hot mess.
Yeah. See, I didn't know he was. They made him out to be like wealthy, sophisticated,
waspy
finance guy, waspy, who like brings his dad to dinner. 6'5",
a trust fund, blue eyes. That's Freddie. That song's about Freddie. So,
oh my God, I'm so glad I know that because Timmy showed it to me the other day. I was like, I wish I didn't know that.
So I go on the show and I'm talking about it. It was like that quick. I mean, hot mess. Like I didn't say it was a serial killer.
Okay, so that's what you said. You said hot mess.
I don't think that that's the worst thing in the world to say.
No, I mean,
so
I could see someone like him getting really, really sensitive about it, though.
I get an email. I like finished the show, went to my office to like work for the next day, like on the show.
Oh my God, from like a lawyer?
No, from like a person I was related to.
Okay.
And this person is like, how dare you? Freddie Fackelmeyer is one of my closest friends.
No.
He is the epitome of a gentleman and a professional and like going off and was like, this is like slander. Like, get the fuck out of my face.
This is why this is never gonna
and
work.
This person said to me, Freddie is like family to me, which you will never be. I literally was at my desk crying. Isn't that insane? I know. So anyway, fuck you, Freddie Fackelmeyer. I can say whatever I want now. No, it's like literally so not Freddie's problem.
Oh my, no, it's not.
You know what I mean?
But like, that's so crazy that you have that Freddie Fackelmeyer story.
Like I can't even like when I go back and rewatch The City for like the 55th time.
You have to fast forward through his moments.
But no, not even because like when I watch it, I'm like, I mean, validation.
Yes.
He is a little bit of a hot mess.
He fully was. Also, I want to say for that DM IRL thing, the first year, my little sister came with me.
Yes.
And so I think the two of us were doing our own thing and I wasn't as much like in the mix. And then this year I came on my own. Well, with Paige.
But you were like, still so, like you were like, the way I came home and I was like, oh my God, my Tay.
Yeah.
I wasn't talking to myself. I wait till I get behind closed doors to have private conversations with me. So I was like, oh my God, Tay, Whitney Port is like so nice. You like made it a point to come up to me and be like, hi, oh my God.
I feel like Paige told me you were the best. Oh. And I was like, oh my God, I need to like make friends with normal, cool people.
Oh my God, it means, but now you're like, but now I know you and you're crazy.
No, but I actually really, I'm more attracted to crazy. I'm attracted to crazy, normal, cool. Does that make sense?
Totally.
Because crazy and normal can go together.
Yes.
Like you're crazy, but you're also like, you get it. Like and I know normal may sound like, I don't know. I don't want to define you or put you in a box
I love
either,
it.
but like you get what I'm saying.
No, I know, because whenever, like, my whole life since college, whenever my friends introduce me to like new people, they're like, this is my friend Taylor. She's crazy. And I'm like, okay, let's all calm down.
Yeah, I would be like, she's like so real. She's normal like us. Like that's what
Thank you. No,
like.
I love that word. You know what it is? Like, I'm always like, I'm crazy, but like my mom raised me with manners.
Yes.
Like I'm the craziest version of myself behind a microphone. And then in public, like I can like behave.
No, totally.
Yeah.
You're like, I've seen both those versions of you. Like I went to dinner with you and and I'm doing this with you.
And I got up on the table like Mr. Peepers and I ate an apple and I spit all over everybody.
No. What are the specials this evening, sir? You're like, I'll have the penne pasta vodka, Romana. Thank you so much.
So this is like the perfect segue. And you set me up. You didn't even mean to. But we both know Kelly Cutrone very well.
Yes.
So speaking of
I
Kelly's,
didn't know that you knew her so well.
Like,
I love that.
So Kelly and I met when I worked at Sirius. And we actually, I just had her on the podcast and we kind of had different versions of how we both met. But it was definitely through Sirius. And I worked for Cosmo magazine. So like, it was like
press stuff, like
and
probably
Fashion
interviewing
Week
her talent.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But like, I remember I went to interview her, whatever, in studio, behind the scenes at Fashion Week. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
But I was so scared because I watched The Hills and the city. I was petrified.
I would be too.
And she just took a liking to me. And I know you can speak to this. And Lauren probably could too.
Yeah.
The way we are attracted to crazy is the way Kelly is attracted to like normal,
I know,
polite, well-raised young ladies.
She is. And she'll take anyone as an intern. Like the amount of people that have come up to me and that were like, after the show, I was an intern at People's Revolution. Like so many. Because she was so, I think that was the one thing she was like the most proud of was like, inspiring young talent, like young weirdos out there to just like let their freak flags fly.
Yep.
And so she was a hero to so many people for that generation.
But like, were you surprised when she took such a liking to you? Because I was surprised with me.
I was, because I thought I would be like too basic, vanilla. Like quiet vanilla for her. But I think once she got to know me and she got to know my family, she was like, she understood more of who I was. And I think like, I don't know, my depth and everything. And so she became like this really motherly, nurturing figure to me.
That's what she is. She's very like, she's maternal by nature.
Yeah.
And not just to Ava, to all.
To so many. And I think also because she thought maybe I would get swallowed up whole without someone like her, you know?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's a protector.
Totally.
She's like the leader of the wolf pack. She's all about wolves.
Yes. I don't know what that cooking thing she's doing
with Anna Delvey.
Yeah, what's happening with that?
You know what's so funny? So I was in St. Bart's with Taya on like kind of like our honeymoon.
That's cute.
And Kelly called because Kelly like you won't talk to her forever.
Yeah,
and then out of the blue she'll just call you. And she was like, I'm in the kitchen with Anna. We got to call Stassi. She's obsessed with Stassi. She calls her Nastasia, which is her actual name.
Yeah,
but it's like so funny. So anyway, Anna is living with her. Talk about a maternal mother taking her under her wing.
I could,
So Anna's under house arrest. So she's like, why are you going to be cooped up in a studio apartment under house arrest when like you can like,
with me.
Like you're in New York City. You're not even in New York City.
Right.
So just come live with me upstate and like free range chicken, bitch. And so they live together.
And she's like doing her press or they're just like buds.
Yeah, no, I think it's a combination of two. When it comes to Kelly, you get like a whole package.
Exactly. And it was like that with me too.
Yes.
It was like a little bit of business and then,
But there was, so on the show though, on the city, I think it was season 1. So it was your friend, Erin. Yes. Who was like sleeping on her couch.
Yes.
But then there was another girl.
Sammy.
Yes.
Was it Sammy?
It was Sammy.
Okay.
I think.
I love Sammy.
And you'll be able to tell me if I'm thinking of the right person.
Okay.
And you guys were at Indochine.
Yeah.
Okay. And Kelly came over and you were like introducing your friends.
Oh,
and Kelly was so brutal to somebody at Indochine
for being really drunk.
It was
something.
No,
it wasn't Sammy yet. It was Allie, the model.
It was Allie.
And
it was
Adam.
Allie. Yes.
Allie and Adam Sen, who Adam Sen has recently come back in my life because he's a realtor.
Stop.
And he's selling a house on my street.
Stop.
And he like his partner knocked on my door and was like, I'm selling this house with Adam Sen. Long story short, he like DM'd me to try to get together. I was like, I can't connect with you, Adam Sen.
I can't go back. I can't go back. It's traumatic.
I already have a realtor. I can't do this.
Leave me alone. I'm
sorry, Adam Sen. You're really hot, okay? And you've aged well. And the house that you renovated looks gorgeous. But I can't go to coffee with you.
I can't breathe. Oh my God.
I'm so glad I could get that out.
Oh, it's a nice release, right?
Yeah. It feels
Adam,
good.
leave her alone.
My chest feels lighter.
So that was such an awkward interaction. And I feel like that's Kelly.
That was really bad. So no. So it was like Allie was having some actual eating disorder issues. Yep. She was a model in New York, and Kelly just full on called her out in front of people. It wasn't even like a drinking thing. It was like I think I don't want to put words in her mouth. Yes. But yeah, it was. There were moments of Kelly where you were just like, whoa. And she definitely, I've been on the receiving end of that before. And
that's what I wanted to ask you, because I have I've not been on the receiving end of it, but I have, but I've been next to her when I've seen her give it to other people. And I'm such a people pleaser. And like, so it is, it's a wild thing for me as somebody who's like, such like, I just want to.
It's like, how can you treat people, or how can you talk like that? Or like, I know. It was, She grew up in a really, in like kind of a different time. And I feel like there was part of me that respected her so much. And I was just like, oh, that's how you like have to get things done in New York. That's how you command a room. Like a man can do that. Why can't a woman do that too?
Correct.
So I was sort of like, but then when it got turned on me, I was like,
what happened?
My God. It was like a business thing. It was like an attorney wasn't getting back to her about something. And I think she thought I was doing something I shouldn't. And she went off on me, and we didn't talk for a few years.
And then how'd you reconnect?
We reconnected. I went to one of her shows in New York. She had invited me to one of her collections shows in New York. And I was like, I got to go and just hug her, because we had talked a few times since then.
It makes me so happy.
But I was like, I'm not gonna. It was like right after my dad passed, and she was really close with my dad. And I think things like I got a little messy. Who knows what was going on with her? The show was canceled. It's like So I was just like, let's let the past be in the past, and because I like her energy's important to maintain in my life.
Yeah, she's the best. She's like very special.
She is. Yeah. I know that if I ever really needed something,
she would be there in a heartbeat.
Like in a specific way. Yeah. Yeah. She would be.
So were you devastated when the city got canceled?
It was so bittersweet.
Interesting.
Because I was like, what's sad is that I really didn't appreciate living in New York at the time. Like I was trying to go home, come to LA all the time. I was like, so when it got canceled, I was sort of relieved, because I was like, and I was producing my clothing line and everything was happening in LA. So it was hard for me to keep doing the whole thing.
Right.
But at the same time, I was like, yeah, this got cut off too short. And like, I need like another 1 or 2 seasons in order to feel like we really did this, you know? Like it felt like it got cut off short. But I wouldn't say devastated. I wasn't like, oh my God.
Right.
I wasn't devastated, because I knew I also had gotten to the point where I think I was like sort of tired of filming.
Yeah. I mean, it was how many years straight?
It was
8.
I did it from 2002 to like 2009 or something. I don't know.
7 years.
It was like 7 years, which now for people is not that much.
Yeah, I know, but still, it's intense. Like, plus also, there are so many reality TV shows now. Yeah. You guys were like one of the only ones, so there were so many eyes on you. So even though the stakes are maybe higher now, the intensity is probably about the same. So you're allowed to be traumatized.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
thank you.
Totally.
I just like didn't want to have to. I wanted to like live kind of my own life and not live like 2 lives together. You know what I mean? Like I kind of felt like I'd lived 2 separate lives.
Right.
And like I didn't always mesh them, because I wanted to keep like certain relationships really sacred and private. Right. And I sort of just got to the point where I was like, I just want to be me and not have to like report to anybody what that is, you know?
Yes. And then of course you came back into the reboot.
Yes.
Which I mean, it just wasn't the same.
It wasn't the same because it was a totally different producers.
That alone.
So it didn't have the same feel. They should have had, I feel like people just wouldn't work with certain people like on both ends. So we couldn't have the same producers.
Wild.
But I think that they also just tried to have us like still partying in nightclubs and like pretending to be friends.
So
and then
why was
brought
Misha
on
there?
Misha Barton.
Love Misha, but why was she there?
And just like made random choices.
So weird.
And I feel like if they had actually gone into people's homes and like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I felt like the creative of the show was a little bizarre. And then second season, I think I shot 2 scenes because I was like, I don't really
fuck this shit.
Yeah.
So you live in the Valley, correct?
Yes.
Would you ever join the Valley?
Never. Never.
Why?
Ever.
Why?
Well, first of all, I would never do a reality show like
Never
that
again.
Like
Never.
unless it was some sort of formatted show where I was like
a Project Runway.
Yes, something like that.
Right.
But or like I don't know, but I would never put my family on TV.
Yes.
Because like people do come into the mix and you do get manipulated and then you are opening yourself up to so many opinions. And no, I would never do it. And I also don't want to hang out with like the majority of those people.
Right. Yeah, it's like we want to watch.
Are you trying to bait me, bitch?
A little bit. We want to watch them.
I want to watch them.
Not be there. Well, it's so funny because Stassi
I can't.
and I were just talking about
it. And I'm
it.
sure she feels the same way. Like she had to set her boundaries.
And she watches it, but so people are like, oh, so you're like jealous? She's like, no. I am enjoying watching as an audience member, and that it further solidifies my happiness with my choice that I did not decide to do the Valley.
I agree, and I think
it's a dumpster fire.
It's
wait. So before I let you go, I just have to also say, the way I'm dying that your son performed Unwritten at his graduation.
So it wasn't even it was the 6th grade class.
Oh, it was.
I should have probably clarified.
Okay.
So the classes each got to choose which songs they performed. And the 6th grade class chose Unwritten. And my son's kindergarten, so he's still kind of a baby.
Okay.
But
I was going to say, an interesting choice for like 6-year-olds.
Dying. I literally started sweating. Like I was wearing a blazer. I had to like take off my blazer. Was everybody
looking at you?
No. And I was thinking in my head, is everybody looking at me? And no one was looking at me. Like no one. I don't even think anybody knew where I was sitting or like connected. You know, I don't even know. I don't know. I mean, a couple moms came up to me afterwards and like, wasn't that so funny? I was like, yeah. But it was a pretty funny full circle moment.
So funny. That song. So Anyone But You. Did you see that movie? It's a rom-com with Sydney Sweeney and Glenn Powell.
So I know. So that's why the song has like a whole new lifeline.
It's like a resurgence.
I'm like, do people even know that it was from originally? I mean,
the
that it's
real
originally
ones, no.
Natasha Bedingfield's
No, it's
song.
not. It's originally Belonging to the Hills. You know, when you watch it streaming, they don't play it.
Really?
And it really, like, it hurts my heart. Like Dawson's Creek streaming too. It's not Hamanamane. It's just like, it's like this weird turn, like a strange
version of it.
Yeah, it's just like some woman who's like sad and like
weird because they don't have the rights for it.
But it's not even at all. I don't want to wait. But that's not what the song is called.
That's so weird. I don't want to wait.
What's the song called?
For our lives.
You have a pretty voice.
Stop.
You do. You should go on American Idol.
Oh my God.
I can't even imagine. But it's like, it doesn't slap the same. Like I need my intros, you know, like I will buy them on DVD so I can just hear.
Hear
like,
everything. Is,
the whole experience. But I was at a wedding like last weekend. And so I was like sitting at this table and I was feeling like so ill just from like, you know, just like all of it. Like the wedding, the dancing, the heat, all of it. Yeah. And Unwritten came on. The DJ. I've never been at a wedding where the song's been played. The way I leapt.
You rallied.
To the dance floor.
Yeah.
I was on my knees. It was a religious experience. Its song is so good.
It's so good.
It's so good.
It really does get everybody going.
Oh, so
I remember there was like a bar in Brooklyn where it was like a sing-along bar that like it was a packed and everybody started singing it together and everybody was sending me this video. It was
my God.
So feel good.
Oh.
But yeah, I mean, it's like, it's one of those special songs you hear and it just brings you back to like that certain time in your life, you know?
It's the best.
Yeah.
It's the best. Well, Whitney, I adore you.
Oh my God, same.
Thank you for coming on and indulging me.
Same. Next time, we're not doing a swap today because I don't remember we talked how we don't want to
do back-to-back swaps. Yeah, inside info, like swaps, the second person or the first person, it just depends on people's moods and like energy level, but someone gets fucked in a swap.
Someone gets fucked. So I feel like the next time, the next couple times is just like us hanging out. Like normally, and then we'll record and you'll come on my podcast.
100%. Whitney, I love you.
I love you too.
You guys listen to Whitney's podcast. It's called
With Wit.
Yes. I love Taste of Taylor
at the
with
same
wit,
time.
alliteration.
Yeah.
And then, of course, follow you at Whitney Eve Port.
That's me.
And that's where like all the other stuff is too.
All
Everything.
the other stuff.
Everything.
Everything is on there.
I adore you.
Thank you.
Thank
I
you.
love
You guys, that is it for us. Make sure to rate, review, and subscribe. It's like tipping your Uber driver, your bartender. You wouldn't not tip your Uber driver.
That's true.
That would you be like, oh, I'm such a jerk. So
That's true.
I mean, you wouldn't be a jerk, but please, if you wouldn't mind, rate, review, and subscribe. It means the world. And you
and
can
it doesn't
like
cost you anything.
it's free, and you can also review like a million times, like every single episode. It doesn't fucking matter. Just like do it. Yeah.
Just tell us your favorite part of this episode.
Yeah. Yes, please.
Right?
Yes.
I don't know.
Or just like say, hey girl, hey. I
Hey,
don't
girl,
care.
hey, fur.
Literally.
Sure,
HGH.
fur. Bye.
You guys, thank you so much. Until next week. Bye, girl. Bye.